Oh, Chelsea.
Hello. Welcome
Everybody.
everyone to another Sunday HerTake.
Sorry, ignore. I'm trying to frame our
Perfect.
participants.
They look amazing.
Okay, hi, my name's Brielle.
I'm Chelsea, and we're joined today in a different part of the OACR, but the OACR nonetheless, with
Yoni.
And Yen Yen.
amazing. They were both just here on the show before, so they're already warm, ready to get talking. Any interesting topics from Gabe's show that maybe are hot enough to carry over into HerTake?
Yes, that you might have seen on the rundown or not.
I mean, we talked in terms of women's sports. We talked about the U.S. women's hockey team and as well as Alyssa Liu. So
Yes.
Yeah, big topics in that department.
Freebird. If we could play that, I would. I don't know if are we allowed to play
Maybe-
copyrighted music?
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
But
Oh.
I'm Canadian, so
Are you serious?
yeah, I'm half Canadian. My dad's from Vancouver.
Why was I thinking like international student actually
What?
popped up from Canada to come to Northwestern?
No. But my sports rooting, but like the side of my family that watched sports growing up, the side of my family that's rooted for like countries and watched
Yeah.
the Olympics with the intent of like cheering for a specific team. We've always cheered for Canada. And so I have followed in my dad's footsteps. It's mainly for hockey. For a lot of the other sports, like I was cheering for Alyssa Liu. I was cheering for Ilya Malinin. But it's mainly hockey. But I always want to see the Canadians succeed, and they did not win gold.
Well, they got
in
second.
hockey. But
That's better than
silver
last.
shines just as bright.
Yes.
There you go.
I
Did you
believe
see the tweet about that?
No.
But
Actually, you made that up.
After the women's hockey team lost, the Team Canada Twitter posted "Silver shines just as bright."
So that's actually pretty depressing. I will not lie.
the Team Canada Twitter can sometimes be a little depressing to follow,
Yeah.
but
First running it, it's okay.
Okay, well, first little section that we're gonna do, we carried it over from Sportsathon because we just had so much fun with it. But HerTake Hotline, so pretty much you guys are just gonna bring your hot take. Well, Chelsea and I will also bring a hot take. You gotta back it up. We'll kind of like just conversate about it. But who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Looking at me. But
I don't want to go.
oh god, I've been increasingly annoyed about the WNBA CBA negotiations.
Yes.
It just feels like it's just this endless stalemate, and they're just hitting a wall over and over again because the WNBA keeps on making proposals, and their latest one, the main thing that the WNBA players want is a greater share of the revenue that the WNBA is generating, because compared to the NBA in terms of percentage of revenue that they're getting, it's like significantly less, and the WNBA players just want more than that, more than their current share. But the WNBA as an organization, they keep coming back with counter proposals that tweak stuff and make concessions about housing and just very insignificant stuff compared to the main issue of revenue, but they just keep on not budging about the revenue. And I just think it would really, really hurt the momentum of the league if there was no 2026 season, and it just seems like we're in that direction. I mean, it's almost March, free agency hasn't happened, the draft is supposed to be in a little over a month, and it just feels like the WNBA is not negotiating in good faith, and that's just really annoying me. It's like, can you just be transparent? Like, why are you doing this? But yeah, that's been kind of driving me up a wall recently.
Yeah, we've definitely had quite a few her takes that have just kind of followed the negotiations, and each and every episode without fail has just come to the conclusion of all of us being unanimously pissed at the WNBA. So
Yeah, I was almost gonna put it on the rundown this week, honestly, but then I was like, we just talk about it so much, and it just seems like it's literally going nowhere. So I refrained from it. But
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's a lot of this falls on like Kathy Engelbert and her her attitude towards the players in general, like the confrontation with Nafisa Collier in the fall. That whole thing just kind of pissed me off because she Engelbert did not go about that the right way, and she did not treat the players as they should be, and kind of treated them as these business assets rather than humans.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree. Um, I think just the actual topic of it, literally coming up maybe 4 weeks straight, is exactly why
Yeah.
it's kind of bringing the anger. But anyway, who wants to go next?
Come on, Yoni.
All right. I
Love
can go.
that.
Mine's so as I just said, I'm Canadian, so it's gonna be hockey
Yes.
related. I think
Okay.
my hot take is that the Canadian hockey team, I said this earlier, they were too old and like slow to compete with the US, which brought a lot younger and a lot faster of a team. And I said this before. I think the breakdown of that goal and the defensive breakdown by Canada to let um Keller like get through and make the like absolutely amazing play. This is no hate against her, but if Canada had had some younger, maybe faster skaters, that play wouldn't have happened as it did.
I definitely agree. I feel like there is very different vibes for each country's team. And I feel like the US team consistently does have like, oh, like Alyssa Liu like wins gold. Oh, and she's 20. Like that's just kind of how the US teams have always been.
The Canada team this year, according like had an average age of 29.
Yeah.
And in hockey, like that's when you start like kind of going on the decline.
Okay.
And the next closest, for context, the next closest team was Finland, whose average was 26. So it's like a full 3-year age gap. And at a certain point, that lack of speed and that like age is going to come back to bite you. And it did for Canada in the worst way possible.
I think after the gold medal game especially, but I think throughout the tournament, I think I kept on seeing a lot of like Canadian fans like on social media. They kept on like getting mad at Troy Ryan, who's like the head coach of the Canadian. Like, oh my god, like why is he like doing his rotations like this, and why is like the team like so old? Like I think I like saw someone call it like the retirement home or something, which is kind of foul. But like I think that goes to show like the general frustrations that were had with like the age of the Canadian team.
Yeah. Was that also posted by the Canada Twitter? No.
The silver shines
I'm
just as bright
crying.
as gold. And we
Yeah.
will be sending our coach to retirement.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's always better when you have younger players on a team. In that regard, sometimes it's good because then to have older players because it's like the maturity, you know. But yeah, I
Veteran
feel
idea.
like I feel like having a team of all veterans, like older people, is probably not the greatest.
Yeah. They had 5 players total under the age of 25. That's not very many. And well, obviously, but like that's like other than Megan Keller, the top two, like the two of the top 3 scorers in the tournament were like college players for that play hockey, like college hockey players. And those are the younger players that Canada is choosing to either play in limited minutes or leave at home, and then they're not performing as well as they probably should.
There you go. All right. I can go next. So, kind of going on to our next topic, which I guess maybe I should have gone last, but it's fine. Um, my hot take is centered around Northwestern women lacrosse. And it's basically that Maddie Taylor, obviously being who she is, leading the country in points, goals per game, things like that, is already playing at such a professional level that I think she should just leave Northwestern lacrosse and go pro.
Right now, in the middle of the season.
Mid-season, in season, whatever she chooses.
Oh.
The thing is that
Yeah.
women's lacrosse, like I wish she could. I wish women's lacrosse and lacrosse in general was in a place to do that, but like I don't. There isn't a sustainable pro league for lacrosse players for them to like make a career out of going pro. I mean, right now the women's lacrosse league, they have a 11-week summer league and they have the championship series, which is gonna be like a 2-week long event happening this week and next week. But just the wages in the WLL are just not enough for a player to go pro. I think right now at this stage in women's lacrosse, college lacrosse is still kind of the pinnacle of the sport, and I wish that could change, but not right now. And the WLL has only been around for 2 years, and I think the PLL, which is the men's equivalent of the WLL, also same vibe, like 11-week summer league. Most other players have other full-time jobs, so yeah, I don't see that happening.
Bit of a hot one. Yeah, I don't know.
Slam me.
I think there's no doubt that she isn't playing at a pro level, but I don't think it would be right to leave in the middle of a season. Also she should still get her education. And yeah, also I just feel like it wouldn't be beneficial for like a job wise, I guess. I like the enthusiasm.
Crying.
We can quickly do my hot take as well, just so then we have a round. My hot take, which might not be a hot take, is that Northwestern softball is not a NCAA tournament team this year. They're currently, for background, they're currently 6-9. They haven't won one game against a ranked team. Their best game has probably been against Mizzou, which they did win in a shutout, 3-0. But other than that, their pathetic display against Arkansas this week was quite terrible. They have not a good DER, which is defensive efficiency ratio, and if this team can only do well when they have a graduate pitcher to back them up and pitch every single game, then I don't think that they're gonna make the tournament.
Everyone read the scorecard on InsideNU.com every Tuesday.
Thank you, Anya. But yeah, so that's my hot take. If anyone wants to comment, that's okay. If not, as well.
I agree.
Thank you,
That's my
Jeff.
comment.
Yeah, the
Okay.
8-9 loss against Arkansas is
Oh, that's not even the worst one.
That was the best loss.
The best one.
like they were really close to getting.
Well, you know what? This is true. Yeah. Yeah, Arkansas is ranked 8th, I believe. But not an excuse, because Northwestern's supposed to be a darn good team, especially because they didn't really lose anyone big besides Boyd, and she wasn't a hitter. So they're bringing back all their best hitters, and they still fail to hit the ball.
I mean, that goes back to the graduate pitcher point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also very confused about some of Drohan's moves right now. I feel like this could be unpacked on another show actually. Or you could read my column on InsideNU.com. But yeah, so we can actually go ahead into the first segment, which took us a bit, but I liked our hot takes, so
Yeah,
it was
me too.
nice.
Yeah.
It was fun.
This was fun.
Hot takes are always fun.
Yeah.
I liked how we
Something about
incorporated
her take hotline. Maybe it's the ring. Maybe it's the hot take. Who knows? But I love it. So
that was a good one.
thanks.
Okay, so we are going to talk about lacrosse, which is why Chelsea earlier said maybe hers should have gone last. But basically, we have Yanyan on, which is our wonderful lacrosse expert, in my opinion. And so I wanted to talk about lacrosse. Also, I've been working a lot of lacrosse games, and so I feel like I'm getting into like the mojo of it. I'm starting to understand. My thing is, why did we lose to Colorado?
Okay.
I was
calling that game for WNUR.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the call did not save because I love my computer. But that was just probably, in my opinion, probably the worst game I've seen from Northwestern in my time here. And I mean, it was an unranked loss, the second unranked loss that I've seen from this team. The first one being Penn State my freshman year, but that Penn State team went on to make the NCAA tournament and make it to the Big Ten tournament championship. So maybe they were a little bit underlooked at the time. But Colorado, a team that was not very good last season, a team that Northwestern beat 20-5 the year prior, and just not a great showing. And I think the main reason why Northwestern did lose that game was because it committed 18 turnovers, which is just not downright bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because so many of those Colorado goals were scored from the breakaway. I mean, Jenica Cuoco had a pretty good game, just save percentage wise, but you can't make every save if the defense is constantly on their toes trying to stop Colorado fast break goals. And I think another thing that Northwestern struggled with was the fact that Madison Taylor scored 6 of Northwestern's 9 goals. That was Northwestern's problem last season, where just in that national championship game and in other games, just there just wasn't any consistent options besides Madison Taylor. She can only do so much, and when players are besides her are shut down, that creates a lot of struggles on the offense. I mean, Maddie Epke being one of Northwestern's highly touted transfers, benched with 0 goals and 4 turnovers. Olivia Adamson only scored once. Aditi Foster going 1 for 6 after having 4 goals the game prior. And you saw again that BC game where there were just so many different scores from Northwestern, 8 different scores, 6 different scores with more than 2 goals, and to transition from that into the Colorado game where just no one really was stepping up offensively and they were just playing really sloppy. It just made for a really poor showing, but thankfully Northwestern did turn it around with big wins against Army, number 20 ranked Army, 20 put up 25 goals against Central Michigan and Marquette. So definitely bounced back, but I think Stony Brook will be another challenge. Second road game of the season, Stony Brook being a ranked team as well. Pretty consistent NCAA tournament team. I think that'll be another big test for Northwestern. So we'll see how they fare.
Yeah, I think you put that great. I was not at the game. I was editing articles about it for the Daily, and so that meant that I did a little bit of research. And as we were sitting there, I was thinking, hey, this looks like their first unranked loss in a while. But then saw that was Penn State, and then I saw that one was away. And so then I kept going back in the schedule, and I kept going back, and I kept going back. And we fact checked this, I think, 4 times, but this was Northwestern's first unranked home loss since 2002,
Wow.
24
which
years.
is 24 years. It's an extremely long time, and it, I mean, I don't know lacrosse as well, but going out and getting in a 3-0 hole in any sport is usually not a good thing, and it usually means that there's like a bigger systemic issue, and I think Northwestern, like you said, really recovered for the rest of the weekend, but I'm interested to see what happens later in the season when they start making like the tournament push, because the Final Four is in Evanston, and I know a lot of people are expecting to see Northwestern in that Final Four, but if the team plays like that against Colorado, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I feel like kind of pairing what you guys said together, I feel like that systemic issue could be just the inherent dependence on Maddie Taylor. I feel like 6 out of 9 goals going to one person is so incredibly insane for Maddie Taylor. Pretty bad for the rest of the team. Um, yeah, I feel like if obviously like they were able to recover, so it's something that is obviously a problem that's been recognized. But if they are going to be able to make actual moves and make the sort of influence that they're hoping to make in the tournament, there needs to be some sort of acknowledgement from other players on the team that okay, we all need to kind of have a part and step up in this, which is obvious. I sound like a lacrosse coach, but also like a Dumbo. Go.
Dumbo. I feel like Maddie Taylor is slowly turning into a Lauren Boyd situation. To bring it back to
Yeah.
softball, I do think the lacrosse team, especially I saw with like the Marquette game, like again there was I think similar to the Boston College game, I think 8 unique scores. And so like and Maddie Taylor also had 9 points, I believe, with the 8 unique scores. So I think that's a really good thing. And I think lacrosse has a better understanding of like, teamwork and everyone has a part than softball. But I don't know. I feel like I'm glad that Northwestern bounced back instead of just letting that loss kind of deflate them. I mean, honestly, most of the time when you lose a game like that, you want to come back and win, and so you have that fight. And Northwestern isn't a terrible team, obviously. But yeah, I'm glad that they didn't just like kind of take that and not also go out and like put up 25 points against Central Michigan, and also how much against Army?
Oh, it was 18 to 7.
18. Yeah, like they're putting up a lot of goals and not just like winning by these slim margins. So I was happy to see that, but I don't know. unfortunate loss for sure. Since
Yeah.
2002 was low-key insane.
Yeah,
I
that's a
did not know
crazy
that.
stat.
That's crazy.
How long did it take you to find that? How much research?
Well, I think it took us about like 30 minutes. It took the reason it took a long time was because there were some years where NU Sports would list the rankings of teams and other years where it just wouldn't, and then we would
Yeah.
have to go into finding like the actual polls. And I
In
realized about
each of the years.
each of the years. I realized about halfway through that the game recaps that were linked for every article for every game had the rankings of the teams, so I ended up just clicking on those,
Yeah.
and so I have a folder on my drive of just screenshots of the last like 15 years, every single loss, and that was at home, and making sure that it was unranked. But
Yeah.
it actually wasn't that many. Like this is a team that's been, as I learned, historically been very, very dominant at home and does not tend to falter easily.
No, I mean, I was still surprised because, like, obviously Northwestern has been dominant in the 2020s and the early 2000s and early 2010s, but there was that stretch between like 2013 to 2019 where they weren't as good. I mean, they made the tournament every year, but weren't had like a national championship final four drought. So I'm surprised that they didn't suffer any home unranked losses then. I know we're like running very out of time, but I do want to preface that I am still very excited about the potential of this team. I mean, like one of the concerns I had coming in was that Northwestern like wasn't really building enough towards its future, kind of relying on Madison Taylor and relying on getting those like transfers with a year of eligibility left and to kind of perform for 1 year but and like not really developing younger talent, but that seems to not be the case. It's not like a Canada women's hockey situation where I think I've seen a lot of the younger players step up. I mean, like Kate Rotana Prokska and Mackenzie Brown being
Oregon shout out.
starters as freshmen. I think that's the first time since the 2022 season where there's been two freshmen who have started, and Aditi Foster being a sophomore and kind of emerging. She has 17 goals across 4 games, and the entire season last year just had 12 goals. I think her being really good and maybe being able to take on that Maddie Taylor #1 option next year is really good. Madison Smith on the draw. She has 2 years of eligibility left. I mean, Gabriella McAllister, those players getting more minutes. And I just think it's really exciting to see a lot of these like younger players step up for Northwestern because we haven't really seen that. Like, I feel like a lot of the previous years teams have skewed a little bit on the older side, so it's nice to kind of see some of the younger names stepping up.
We did have more, but we have kind of ran out of time, as Yin Yan alluded to. So I think we're gonna end it here. Also, yeah, Chelsea's phone died.
Yeah, my phone died.
So
the
sorry to the
screen
YouTube-
literally just shows me and Brielle, but it's okay because I got to see you guys.
and they can hear you guys.
There
so
you go.
It's okay. But yeah, in the interest of sports voice and everything like that, we're gonna end. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Tune in next for Sports Voice, and
next Sunday for
and-
another HerTake.
yeah, we're coming to the end.
We
almost
are.
done.
So catch
like-
these two faces as long as you can.
because we're almost gone, and you won't want to miss it. So, thank you and bye.